Started off with Sal Licata. We went to Ricky Ricardo. Then Damon Amendolara. Yesterday was the one and only Jim Brewer, and we're finishing out the week in style with Jimmy O'Brien and Jake Storiale. You know them as Jomboy Media, the co-hosts of the Talkin' Yanks podcast. What up, Jimmy and Jake? Welcome to the Fan.
Thank you very much for having us. And thank you for everyone that's tuning in. I grew up a fan junkie, so I'm excited to be sitting here and talking.
You know, I think we're going to test that later on because you say that you're a fan junkie, but do you actually know your WFAN history? You're already shaking your head.
Because if you compare me to the callers, there's no way I know as much as people that tune in every single day, and I appreciate them. So I don't want to insult them by saying I'm one of them. I take it back immediately.
Way to backpedal right after that one. It's
Don't test me.
10:07.
Don't test me.
Jake and Jimmy, two Connecticut guys, and we're huge fans of what you're doing with Jomboy. Obviously, your Yankees podcast is absolute must listen. We're going to get into your history, and you guys have known each other since high school going back, so I'm just kind of third wheel here today. But we got to start with last night. You just heard the Joey Gallo home run, Yankee moment, whatever you want to call it. The Yankees actually just needed that win. I mean, we can talk about signature moments from guys who just arrived and how good Rizzo has been and how good Gallo has been. But they needed that win because if there is any silver lining on the horizon about maybe a path to the AL East, it has to start with games like that. And I'm curious, and Jimmy, how much different do you feel and how differently do you feel about the Yankees now as we did 2 weeks ago?
I made a video after the game. I was somewhat joking, but there was a lot of seriousness to it that I really wasn't concerned yesterday when Chad gave up that home run. And I thought, well,
that's new.
Yeah, such a new feeling. And then Judge and Stanton put together great at-bats to get, I think both of them had 2 strikes. I know Stanton did 2-strike hits, and I'm like, that's new.
Keeping the line moving.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're keeping the line moving. And then I did start to get worried with Chapman. And I was like, come on, man. We can't have this. But it felt completely different. I mean, Nestor's pitching really well. Chad looks sharp. It's a bad pitch to a rookie at the stadium, and it's a short porch cheapie, which as much as I'll get excited when we hit him, I don't get too upset when we give him up.
Yeah, every Met fan died, but sure, I'm glad you didn't get too upset.
So it is a completely different feeling.
The past couple weeks, obviously they added a couple guys, but the whole feeling is different, but also we're still not at a point where we can care about what the wins look like yet. Right. Yankees just need wins to get into the conversation, which they kind of have. So that's exciting a little bit. And we did talk about it with Baltimore a little bit, the offense had to do something. They put up 2 double-digit runs games. Now they got to come back, and we're all drinking the Kool-Aid, let's be honest.
All back in?
Yeah, but I'm such a delusional fan. I hate how much I will get wrapped in, and I said this on our show. I'm full blown. I'm giving in, rational brains out the window. I'm
Yes.
watching every Boston game, every Tampa game, every Oakland game. I'm checking the scores. And 2 weeks ago, I would have bet good money that I was closer to out and casually watching and been like, yeah, honey, we can go shopping. I'll just follow along on game day instead of nope. I am home and I'm watching every inning. So I'm in.
All in. Rizzo and Gallo, I think, are a huge part of that. And, we can get to Chapman also from last night because here's the thing about Aroldis Chapman, right? He actually has, you mentioned, Jake, about at this point you can't really worry about how it looks. But the thing is with Chapman is I still actually am a little worried about how it looks because even though he gets out of it, and Britton got out of it too, and that's, I guess maybe we expect a little bit more from Britton where he's going to have to get double play balls and stuff like that behind him just because of what kind of pitcher he is. But with Chapman, I'm still a little concerned here. When he can't locate the fastball, it is a major problem, obviously. And even though he's taken these strides to come back, whether the fingernail got fixed or whatever, I can't get all the way back with Chapman. It looks a lot better than it did a month ago. But 1 to 10, where are you in terms of feeling better about Aroldis?
Yesterday was a notch back. This slider, when the fastball's not on, the slider actually just looks like a hanger. And I thought that it was going to get crushed. And it did, just to the wrong part of the stadium. I believe that...
Easy out.
That Haniger hit it 30 feet farther than Gallo did for the last out. But yeah, easy out. No worried about Chapman, but relievers are volatile, and if he could come back tomorrow and be throwing 98 with zip and energy, and I'll be right back to in.
But relievers are volatile. He's Mount Vesuvius, man.
Yeah. And that's, I guess relievers you got to put the resume out there. And we love Johnny Laza, and he's been awesome this year. But still, and he was up in the pen, but Boone technically pushed the right button by not pushing the right button, and Chapman gets the out, which,
right.
all right, you played the stadium a little bit. I don't know. I mean, Britton, if he gets on track, and we saw this in previous years, he's the only one that can, if Chapman's struggling and Britton looks good, you can say, like, all right, like, Britt, go get it. You've done it. You've had crazy seasons. Johnny, this is his first breakout season, all-star and all that, so we got the win. And like Jim said, Chapman, he could pump 103 tomorrow, dripping sweat, and we're like, all right, the dude's back.
Even having Johnny Loizaga up in the bullpen was different, and that was a change, and they wouldn't have done that 2 weeks ago. They would have just let, and they did in the Angels game and was it Houston game, they just let Chapman die. And the signs were there that, hey, he doesn't have it tonight. You got to make a change if this gets really bad. And they didn't. And then Litke had to come in the next inning or relieve him. So even the fact, because they didn't want to use Loizaga yesterday because they want to save him.
Right.
So the fact that they got him up, that to me was like, oh, okay, they're actually treating games differently now.
I agree with you. Yankee Twitter was begging for Loizaga to come in to finish out that game last night. And the thing is about that, I think, has been among the many criticisms of Boone this season, one that's kind of actually stayed with him a little bit from even his rookie year managing this team to now, has been when to pull your relievers. And I think this year, and obviously, right, that's the hardest thing that a manager is going to ever have to learn. But I think this year, and you guys can tell me if you're picking up on this too, it's not just about what the sheet says or whatever, Paul O'Neill said, but like not just about what the front office and the analytics department is telling you who should come in. I think that there's an emotional aspect to it, especially when it's Chapman, that happened in the Kansas City Royals game when they intentionally walked Carlos Santana and then they had to walk it back and say that was the wrong decision, even though I'll maintain that was the right decision in that time. But I think there's an emotional element that Boone is kind of tippy-toeing around because Chapman has struggled and because they already had one situation this year where you had to factor in his psyche and you felt like you actually went in the wrong direction. It's this whole mind bleep, I think, that's going on that has added an extra layer that's made Boone's job even harder. And you can say, well, he only has himself to blame for it. True. I think he's still navigating through that.
Well, it's really easy to manage when your players are phenomenal and your managing style is I put trust in the players.
Right.
When they perform, that's pretty good. But that's what he's been doing, and there for relievers, it is a confidence thing. Like we had some people talk to Chapman, and he said it was a confidence thing with a fastball. He just didn't feel good about it, so he's going to the slider. Walsh beats him on a slider. Was it Altuve that beat him on a slider? Altuve beat Chad like later, but yeah. So
the history of that.
So I you do have to manage to the psyche of the player a little bit, and maybe that is better. Maybe we see Chapman come out tomorrow full of like gusto and confidence because Boone let him ride it out, even though he got a lot of help from the umps, and he did have a ball put in play pretty hard.
If Johnny Laza comes in and gives up a broken bat single, how much did we just set Chapman back? Did we just set him back 2 weeks, something like that? It is one of the things, and some people say we're not tough on the Yankees. We're on the fan now. Let's let it rip.
Yeah, right.
No, one of the things that is kind of dated about the Yankees roster is how much money is in the bullpen. Because that's not how bullpens are built anymore. You'd rather get kind of 10 guys that are paid $3 to $5 million, where the Yankees have Chapman making real money.
Yeah,
You have
$60 million
making
closer.
real money. They had to get rid of Ottavino just to get off of his money to try to bring in more options. So that is one thing. The White Sox, which talent, paper, like that's the team in the AL right now. And Liam Hendricks, who was their big free agent signing, he'll come in the seventh inning. He'll come in the sixth.
Just
And
added Kimbrel.
Chapman doesn't have that. So that is one part of the Yankees that's a little old school that we'll look back in a few years like, your best reliever has to be willing to come into the game at any time right now. And Chapman's not going to do that. He's the ninth inning or in the playoffs will go 1+.
Do you guys, are you looking forward to this Field of Dreams game? Because you guys are baseball, like you have a love for this sport that is like, how people romanticize baseball. I feel like you guys love baseball. Are you contractually obligated to love the Field of Dreams game?
I think I am. I'm thinking about it now, though, but I didn't like the London series. So I don't know.
I wouldn't either. Luke Voigt got hurt.
The pitching, it was so bizarre. It was different.
So the lighting always looks different on TV when it's in Europe.
Yeah, I'm excited. I guess I'm not that excited, but I will be when I see it. I haven't really thought about it. I think Heaney's pitching for the Yankees.
It's a big series for them playing
It's
against
a
the
big
White Sox
series,
there.
and they're going to be in those uniforms. And I don't know, when you're in the middle of the emotions that if the Yankees lose, I will hate it. That's where I'm finding
not
it.
now, baseball.
Yeah,
like not
you know,
now. The
do
Yankees
this in
are trying
April
to do
or
something.
May. Not when we're playing the White Sox and Heaney's pitching, and who knows who's available in the pen and who's out and who's not. So there's so much other things. If it was a third party, I think I'd enjoy it more.
Like a third party?
Like a Mets fan, or like, I don't know, like a
He's too invested.
Twins fan. Yeah, if I wasn't
Got it.
invested in the result of the game, I think I could take in the
You want
spectacle
this
of the
to be
event.
a Dodgers-Giants series.
I'd love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd
you could
love
ignore it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
I'd
maybe
be like, look at
dip
those
in.
silly uniforms. How fun is this? A home run into the cornfield is going to be really cool. They've got to get a home run, huh? If they go like no home run into the...
It's the New York Yankees. What makes you think they're not hitting home runs?
Yeah, it's true.
Before they got Gallo and Rizzo, for the past week before that, they kind of
They were hitting home runs. They were just solo home runs.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
It'll be fun. I get roped in pretty easy on that kind of stuff. I mean, when you turn it on and you see Yankees, White Sox, and you see cornfield and all that, you're gonna be like, all right, this is cool. But
Are we just going to do a movie every year now?
Yes.
Like, are we just going to replicate some kind of baseball movie? And it's like, well, this year we're cornfield, but tomorrow we're the natural, and the next day we're going to be
Train
major
tracks.
league, and then
Major
rookie
League.
of the year, and then we're no.
What else do we got? Can
Rookie
we
of the year would be good.
baseball Space Jam? Working LeBron? That would be like MLB's dream marketing plan. Like, oh my God, we
No,
got
and then
him.
LeBron goes and plays baseball like Michael Jordan.
Oh wow!
He said he's chasing the ghost of Jordan. We just haven't seen him go play minor league baseball in Alabama yet.
Imagine if he did that. That'd be so like kind of sad. Like if he really actually did that. We'd
Just
be
for
like, LeBron, man, be you, dude. We're
It's getting
over it.
weird.
Yeah.
He's coming out with a documentary, the last dance. It's like, that's familiar.
You gotta stop, dude.
Jimmy O'Brien, Jake Storiali are in with me today, guest hosting here on The Fan. If you want to talk to Jimmy and Jake, can I collectively call you Jomboy? Well, how do we collectively
Jomboy
call
Media.
you?
I don't know.
The one I liked, a guy came up to me at a concert. I was with Cole Tucker, Flex,
Wow.
Vanessa
Wow.
Hudgens, whatever.
Oh my gosh,
You
name
weren't
drop.
Hudgens, were you?
She wasn't there, but he's
Yeah,
dating
I mean,
her.
don't say that. He was not with Vanessa Hudgens.
You were within
One of
20
his boys.
feet.
Actually, he's playing for the U.S. team, JWest _ on Instagram. He came up to me, and Cole Tucker was like, "Yeah, this is Jake, John Boy," and he's like, "Oh, okay. So are you John?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "So you're Boy." So I've been telling people now I'm Boy. So
Yeah.
it all comes together.
Yeah, Giannotti's going to have a field day with
Oh,
that
my
one. So
guy,
you just
my
teed him
guy.
up for another one.
I've got some tips for him coming up after
Is that
the next
right?
break. Yeah.
What a tease.
Yeah.
Greg Giannotti, listen up, my friend. Jimmy and Jake in with me today until 2 o'clock. Want to hear from you. John Boy fans, let's go. 877-337-6666. Yankee fans, how you feeling about last night, Rizzo and Gallo? I love who had the t-shirt? I think Barstool already has the Italian Stallions t-shirt out there. Very, very fun. We're coming to you live from the Town Fair Tire Studios, powered by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Yankee fans, vamonos.